over the past few years, Indian law has been so fluid in the regulatory space. Something that is legal today can be illegal tomorrow. It can be taxed the third day and it could again become legal. So cryptocurrency right now is a shady space. Okay. But I think it makes sense to know how this applies to different businesses. Okay. And if you specialize in it, I'm pretty sure there may be even international opportunities opening up for you. For example, I am not so intimately connected to the cryptocurrency space. I don't invest in cryptocurrencies. I've never done that. But I can give an example of gambling laws. Okay. So gambling per se, you can say at a very broad level is illegal under Indian law. But that's only the surface of it. There are so many riders, so many exceptions. Nagaland, Sikkim have online gambling related rules. You can have offshore casinos in Goa. West Bengal excludes poker, bridge, and other card games from the ambit of gambling. So there are so many permutations and combinations. And while on the surface it's illegal, and you can't have like an pan-India gambling business like you have, for example, Reliance Jio operating pan-India, or their outlets, sales outlets, service outlets will be all over the country. Apple will have outlets all over the country. You can't have casinos all over the country. But there will be gambling businesses or in the online gaming industry in select pockets. Okay, now it is for you to identify what is it that can be done and what is it that can't be done. Okay, if you research enough, you can actually get a lot of good work on that. Okay, and I know people who've been doing that in this industry. So I'm pretty clear that options are going to emerge and we need to be on top of it. So the hard way is to keep struggling, find out one by one issue and work on it. Okay. The simple way is pick up an online course, see the syllabus, see if it meets your need, see if you have the confidence and enroll. Like we've just launched 2 days back a diploma from LawSikho on cyber laws, fintech, and technology contracts. Okay, and it covers these areas on cryptocurrency as well. It has a short module on cryptocurrency. So these kind of areas you can actually look at. Okay, and you can do such courses and then start off on your own, going deeper and deeper. And the thing to look at when you examine an online course is not whether it provides you answers to all the situations, because that would be spoon feeding, right? What an online course caters to is skilling you enough so that you can jump and fly on your own. Okay. And if a course doesn't do that and it teaches you the theory and it teaches you how just the sections and case law, then it doesn't work, because case law will change tomorrow. Regulations will change tomorrow. So what you need to look at is that after completing that online course, will you be skilled to upgrade yourself on your own if need be, okay, to identify the areas of law that emerge for practice in connection with that theme. Okay, that is what you have to look at, and that is how our courses are designed also. Because tomorrow regulations will change, there will be different case law. What will we do? So when you come to know about the interest of a stakeholder, about the commercial intent of a party, you come to know about different kinds of contracts, and then you study the applicable law. You know that tomorrow if this law changes, this is how my practice, or this is how I have to update myself. You know that very clearly. Otherwise, what happens, what people do usually, especially when you're the really hardworking, enthusiastic gung-ho person, you will see, okay, this was the law then, this is the law now. But what is the implication of that, you will not know. Okay, and that is a problem.